All right, so this week we're going to be making acetylsalicylic acid, which is aspirin. I wanted to show you a few things about the setup. Really haven't done an experiment like this. You'll end up doing several like this in a row. But you have your spin vane, and here you'll have your salicylic acid, acetic anhydride, and then the catalyst that you need is phosphoric acid. You can put the spin vane in there. Make sure it's point down, and also make sure it's clean. Like this one is not clean. If you look closely at it, you can see all the black junk in there. You can usually scrub that off with a brush. But anyways, you'll have that in there. And then this is the air condenser. You could also use the water-cooled condenser, but that goes in like that. Now, if you don't put anything else there, this will just pop out. So what you need to do is you need to use a cap without the insert, and you're going to place that in the conical vial. But if you just do this, and you put it in there, the problem is it'll pull right out of that hole. So what you need to do is actually use an O-ring. This is what an O-ring looks like. It looks like an O. And you'll take your conical vial cap, place that on there, then use the O-ring to keep that in place. And now when you tighten this down, it won't be able to pull out or fall off, because as you heat this, you're going to be heating it in a water bath. It could just fall apart on you. Okay, so that's the assembly of that part. Then the other thing that I like people to do is actually to put an air condenser on here. So this is your air condenser. It follows the same principle of attachment. You have to have this on there, right? And then an O-ring. Now, because the air condenser is, the drying tube, it's called a drying tube, sorry. Because the drying tube is open on this side, you can actually put the O-ring on from either end. So if you forget to put it on, it's not a big deal. You can always just add it. So then I can just place this on like this. And this will attach to the top of your setup. And the reason I like to add this is because if this bumps, the solution in your conical vial were to bump or boil violently, it doesn't just spray straight up off the top. The other thing that people will do actually is use a rubber band and just rubber band a paper towel over the top here. And then what happens if it blows up, it goes into the paper towel. The only problem with that is not everything plays nice with paper towels, and so you could cause some more problems just by having something combustible at the top. But anyways, this is just to keep it from spraying. If it was really off-gassing a lot, then what we would often do is we would put something in here, like a wet piece of cotton, and that acts as a filter and then captures any of the noxious gases that might escape through the drying tube. Okay, so next thing I'll show you is how to set up the apparatus. Okay, so you're gonna need to set up a hot plate. And it does help to have everything all together that you need. You're going to put this in the back bar here. You're going to need a water bath, which is going to be a 250 milliliter beaker. And it says about how much to put in there, but really you just want it to be a little bit above half full. And you're only going to need this to be 50 degrees Celsius. So the water that comes out of these taps, or the big ones in the back of the room, they come out at a little bit above 50 degrees, somewhere between 50 and 55 degrees Celsius. So my advice is get this thing set up, set the temperature to something intermediate, like 150, 160. Sounds high, but remember, this surface is heating up on the inside. The heating element's getting to that temperature. Okay, so I'm gonna turn it off because I don't need it to be on right now. But you'll have that with your water in it. And then you're going to want to have a thermometer, and you're also going to want to have something to clamp your conical vial setup. So let me go ahead and set that up and show you what that looks like. Okay, so here it's set up, and just wanted to show you really quick. Just make sure you have enough space between these that you can operate them easily. And you really have a lot of control about where this goes, because the thermometer clamp doesn't have to be here. It could be up here. It could actually be all the way at the top if you want it to be. It just needs to be out of the way, right? This one needs to be centered over the hot plate. And the reason for that, of course, is the magnet for the hot plate is in the middle of the hot plate, not anywhere else. So as it spins, it will spin the spin vane that way. Now, I've set this up so you can see this. You notice I have a stirring rod in the middle. I'm going to adjust this just a little bit because it's not quite in the center. Yeah, I have a stirring bar in the beaker. Now this will have water in it at 50 degrees and it'll be spinning. And this stir bar will stir the water on the inside of the water bath to make sure the temperature is uniform in the water bath. It also helps to connect to the spin vane that's in the conical vial. Right, so now I can turn this up and it'll stir pretty well. The other thing I wanted to make sure you understood is that when we look at where the thermometer is, it's going to be down in the middle of the water bath, near the level of the reaction vessel. And it's not going to be too close to the glass because the temperature of the glass is cooler than sort of the what we want the rest of the solution to be, just because it's conducting heat away from the sides of the glass. So we're going to turn this thing on, right? We're going to probably set it to about 120, 130 degrees. You're going to have 50-degree water on the inside of here, inside of the beaker, that you'll just get from the tap because it comes out between 50 and 55 degrees. And then just monitor the temperature closely. If it gets too high, put some cool water in or maybe some pieces of ice. And if it gets too cold, then turn the temperature up. Okay, so hopefully that will help you. That's kind of the setup for the lab this week. The rest of it is, I think, stuff that you can follow along with. I just wanted to make sure you saw the setup once before you did it.